All right. Good afternoon to you. Wake Man Shave on Fuzzy. I'm Fuzzy. Hi, y'all. So it's a Wednesday afternoon. I'm actually off work tonight, so I'm just shaving because it's Williams Wednesday. What more reason do you need? But anyway, we're going to do a Williams Wednesday shave. Now, we have a saying where I come from. It goes like, what had happened was, and what had happened was, I did a video with the iPhone Monday morning, and it was taking so long to upload and everything. And once I got to looking at it, I really didn't like it anyway. So that's what we call a technical difficulty, and that video's kind of disappeared. So it was with the Schick M, the adjustable. So we're going to do another shave with that for we've got our Williams, our vintage Williams, which I all just made into one word, Williams. I like that. I just coined a new word. Have you coined a new word today? Williams. All right. Well, vintage Williams in a scuttle, and I am using the scuttle the way I believe it was intended. I've got my little Nutura, I believe it was called, little Turkish boar brush there. Believe it or not, that little old bitty brush makes really good lather. That's the one that I used to call a lather monster when I first got it. The knot actually fell out of it at one time, but I was able to glue it all back in. It's not a very expensive brush. Sorry, it's actually a really cheap brush, but it doesn't shed, and it's been doing a really good job over the years. I've had that thing a lot of years. So I break it out sometimes when I need something like this. So I've got the hot water down in the bottom, and I'm soaking my brush in it, so I have my water for my shave. Now, there are plenty of people that will tell you that this is for heating your lather. There are plenty of people who have a mental defect. There is no way you're going to heat that whole cake of soap to make the top warm by putting hot water in the bottom. It ain't going to happen. Nope. We have another saying where I work. It's called, we check IDs, not IQs. There's a reason for that. If you think you can heat that whole puck by putting a little hot water in the bottom of that scuttle, more power to you. Now what you do use when you want to do that is either the brush scuttle, like I've showed you, my sister got me here. It's got hot water in the bottom and it heats the inside cup, and then you have the brush down in there and it directly heats the lather. Now it does warm your lather up really nice. You can also, I wasn't planning on getting off on this rant, so I didn't have all this ready. But anyway, you can use a scuttle like this. This is a Dirty Bird Pottery 1.5. It's a nice, big, heavy scuttle. And you put hot water in the bottom. It heats the inside of the bowl. This is all one piece. It's been all fused together. And then as you build your lather, it heats your lather, and it keeps it warm as you're building your lather. These scuttles will heat your lather. These scuttles will not. That's not what they're for. Now, you do have nice hot water in the bottom, so you can dip the tips of your brush into the hot water, and that will give you warmer lather. I'll go for that. But anyway, if that's what you're talking about, okay. But if you're talking about it just heats the lather up, so when you start making lather, you have nice hot lather, no, it doesn't do that. So anyway, my mother, bless her heart, when she was alive, loved Stetson, and she loved when I would wear Stetson. So today, for no reason other than that, I'm going to use Stetson. So to get on to the shave, the Schick adjustable, the M, I don't know, the Schick page, there was a guy that I can't remember his name that gave everything a designation. That didn't come from Schick, by the way. The Schick G, the Schick E, yada 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 yada, whatever. Those didn't come from Schick. The Deb and the Fashion Razor, that kind of stuff, those names did come from the Schick. I believe the F was called the New Improved, perhaps. Those kind of names did. The number game, that came from somebody that came along later and sorted them out. So I don't know if this would be an M1, 2, 3, whatever. It's one of my favorites. It's turned all the way up because, as we all know, the only acceptable setting for an adjustable is turned all the way up. Turn it up, leave it up, turn it loose. Remember that. That's important. You might want to write that down. Might have that tattooed somewhere, but probably not on your forehead. But anyway, no need to go twisting dials. I realize that all the directions and manuals and paperwork and everything said to twist dials. It's called marketing, folks. That's how they get you in to buy their stuff. It's new and improved. You can adjust it to do this. You can adjust it to do that. There's no need to adjust it to do anything. Doesn't need adjusting. You need to learn how to use the tool. You don't have a problem. All right. So there we go. Another neat thing about the M, and I like to show this off. You see how there's no blade gap between the guard bar and the blade there? Yeah, under here there's a little lever. You slide it down and there you go. So if you got that slid up to where it's protecting the blade and everything, which is my assumption as to what it was for, you don't shave anything. It doesn't work that way. You got to slide it down, and then you got the blade gap, and then you get to do a little shaving, which is a good thing. Let's see how we can do. We're actually going to use the water in the scuttle to build our ladder. We're going to shake the brush out a little bit. We're going to start building. Now this is vintage Williams, so we all know how good vintage Williams does. It would work with modern Williams also. Just so happens I've got the modern William in a heart and shave mug that I was gifted. That's a favorite of mine. And then the vintage stuff I put in a vintage scuttle. I mean, they started making this stuff in like 1840. So, you know, somewhere along the way, I imagine this particular scuttle is not old, but it's not that old, by the way. It's late 70s, early 80s. It's an old Foley. And from what I've been able to tell, it's late 70s, early 80s. No later than probably 85 or so. But anyway, so it's not one of the old Foley scuttles. But anyway, this is the style, you know, that I could see somebody using who had some vintage Williams soap. At the time, it wouldn't have been vintage. At the time, it would have been modern. I could just see them using this to do their shades with. You know, I like to think of the homes that had the early electricity that didn't have the running water. You know, maybe even before there was electricity all the place and there wasn't any running water, they would have a scuttle like that so they could have warm water for their shave. Have your shave bowl, you know, hand wash bowl and everything. I don't know. By the time I remember anything, you know, we had all that stuff. I don't ever remember not having it. I remember not having cell phones. Wish I could remember that again. Oh, cell phones. Don't get me started on cell phones. You cannot get away from anybody. The phone's constantly ringing. You turn it off, and 5 million people want to know what you're doing with your phone off. Maybe I didn't want to talk on the phone. Maybe that's why I turned it off. Think about that. Anyway, you invariably get the question, are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. I turn the phone off. That brings my blood pressure down. I am doing just fine. Cell phones. All right, let's get this in. Now, it was doing fine the other day, and I don't think I need to change blades in it yet. No, still got a good blade. These nice thick injector blades hold a good edge, and they keep an edge for a long time. It's great. This blade is probably a Persona. There's probably a coated Persona blade that I had bought from Andrew's Shave Shop on Esty. I'm assuming Andrew is still in business, and if he is, if you need blades, you need to look Andrew up. He has a really good price on, well, about everything he has, but especially his injector blades, his Persona coated injector blades. I forget how many are in the magazine, but last time I got it, the price was really good. Now I have a place not too far away that I can go and buy the Chinese Schicks, what people call it, Chicks. And they're a good blade. They're a little more expensive, but, you know, not really. Used to, you could go down to the Fred's Dollar Store, you know, places like that. I've got some blades still that were originally branded for a place called Long's department store, drugstore. And they were sent to me many moons ago by a buddy of mine in Arizona. So I've still got, I think, one more of those still in the package. But used to, you could go by, Fred's is the last place I remember seeing them. And you could pick up their store brand, which were a Persona blade, ASR, that was rebranded for their store. And I can remember that. But not anymore. They quit selling them, and but there's still a few places you can get. There was a drugstore, and I've told this story before. There was a drugstore in Jeanerette, Louisiana, where I lived for, I don't know, 7-8 years. A little country drugstore there. And they kept the injector blades on the shelf. And the only reason they kept them on the shelf was because they had a bakery in that town that made some of the world's best French bread. They made other stuff, but the French bread was what they were made for. They made that French bread, and then they shipped it out to the local grocery stores and stuff. And they would use those injector blades to score the top of the bread. That's what they used. It was a perfect size for them. I don't know if they had some kind of holder they put it in or exactly what it was, but for some reason that's what they wanted to use. So he kept those blades in stock because they used them. Now, I haven't been back in several years. I've lived here now for over 5.5 years. I haven't been back in several years to see if the baker's there or to check his store to see if he still has those blades. I need to do that one day. I need to ride over just to see. I can do that, and then I can run over to Franklin, Louisiana, another little hole in the wall town, but they actually had I don't remember the name of it. It was one of the discount cigarette stores. But the owner was a cigar guy, and he had a really nice little cigar humidor in there. And I used to stop by all the time. I had a coworker that I kept her yard up, an acre and a half. Took me about an hour to do it. Used their equipment and everything. It was just an awesome job, and they paid extremely well for it. So I'd get out, and once a week I was mowing the grass, and sometimes I'd have to trim the ditch bank and that kind of stuff, but mostly it was just riding a really nice Snapper 50-inch lawnmower, tractor style. Ain't much better. So I'd stop by the cigar store on the way over there, because that was in Franklin also, and I'd pick me up a couple of good cigars for the job and a couple of extra cigars. So I'd be out there riding that big old fancy looking Snapper mower, kick back with my hat on, because I'm kind of pale, so I wear long sleeves and hats and everything in the sun, with a big old nice Maduro cigar running around. I'm telling you, waving at people as they drive by and stuff like that. I was a cat, telling you. Cat on the mower. Well, look at there. But anyway, I could get back over there if I get back and check out that store too. So I may go by and see if they still sell the injector blades. I recently passed along an ever-ready bore brush that it looked a lot like one of the regular Burma shade brush, the red and white Burma shade brush. But anyway, it was new in the package, never been used, never been opened, and it came from that shop also. I recently passed that along to somebody that's done some nice things for me and let me try some stuff, and it was just a thank you. But I think that's the only shade brush I've ever bought. Nope, take that back. I got one more somewhere. I don't know where it is right now, but I've got one. I've actually got another one of these little Naturo brushes. E-turner? Anyway, whatever they are, I've got one of these new in the box also that I picked up from there. Those were the two brushes he had on the shelf when I first moved there. That's a long time ago now. Long time ago. But looky there. What a shave. You know, Schicks just give really great shade, and they give really easy shaves. They're not real expensive. The blades you can still get. It is a little harder to find blades for those than it is to find blades for those two-sided thingies. It's true, really. I can go down to my local grocery store. I got a Winn-Dixie just up the road, and I can buy Israeli two-sided blades if I want to. And I can go to the dollar store and buy two-sided blades from Vietnam. It worked really well. Dorcos. A lot of people, whatever. They shave great. But it's harder to find the injector blades. I understand that kind of stuff. But the shaves are easy. The shaves are just outstanding. There's a lot of different razors to play with in the line. And, if you haven't tried injector shaving, you need to try that out. It's just really good stuff. Now, if you come over to Toast, which is the originalsafety2.com, and you come join in and everything, there's a section over there called the Loaners. And we'll be more than happy once you're in there and we get to know you a little bit and know you, that we'll be more than happy to loan you something to try. I'll loan you a razor. I'll send blades with it. If you want to try soap, if you want to try whatever, we'll be happy to help you out. There's several of us in there. Between the group over there, if it's single edge or injector, one of us is probably going to have it. And a lot of them are really generous, really good guys over there. So look, y'all have a great day. That's my Williams Wednesday for today. What was your Williams Wednesday like? Did you forget Williams Wednesday? Don't forget Williams Wednesday. That's mean. It's mean. So anyway, don't be mean. Don't forget Williams Wednesday. Hey, maybe that'd be my catchline. Maybe I'll put that in my signature. Don't be mean. Don't forget Williams Wednesday. I just might do that. All right, I'm going to finish up my coffee. I got some errands to run. I'm going to get this video uploaded. And, wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, Happy shaves to you. Aight? Aight.